Hello and welcome to my channel, The Way What Is Truth. Remember to like and subscribe and comment down below as usual. Now, I was just thinking recently, I've seen so many stressed out people, so many people walking up and down the street, staring at their phones for far too long. In fact, I've seen some people look at their mobile phones for so long that they actually almost get run over. I know that's a little bit extreme, but yeah, sometimes our concentration is far too much on our mobile phones. And so many people watch far too much TV, they play video games far too much, they're on Netflix far too much, and so on and so forth. And what I'm getting at really is that approximately 56, and I think it's almost 60% of the world's entire population live in urban areas. Now, it's a well-known fact that the closer we are to nature, the closer we are to God. The closer we are to God's creation, the closer we are to Him. And far too many of us are spending too much time in towns and in urban areas. And I'm just encouraging myself and everybody else who's watching this video to try and make an effort to get ourselves out of the rat race, to get ourselves away from all this noise, all these loud mouths. You know, this world's full of opinionated people. It's full of toxic politics. It's full of all sorts. You know, we get fed lies on TV. A lot of the music that we listen to is not what God approves of. A lot of the films that we watch on Netflix is not what God approves of. And it's all too easy to get lost in this toxic, modern day soup that we're living in, okay? And, I'm not just talking about pollution, although that has got a lot to do with it, but obviously, not everyone can get out of the towns and the cities, but far too many of us are spending too much time in built-up, man-made areas. You know, everywhere you go around Nottingham, where I live, for example, there's tyres, tarmac, street lamps. Most places that you go to, you can't even see the horizon. You know, it's just buildings, houses, and tarmac everywhere. You know, now you can see the horizon on my street because I live on a steep hill. And it goes down, 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 and you can actually see the horizon. So that's quite nice. I actually like living on a hill, which I'm fortunate enough to do so. But so many people are living far, far lower ground, so I've never had to deal with flooding or anything like that where I live. But yeah, far too many people are living in built-up areas and they can't get out of it. They can't get out of the rat race, every time I walk down to Arnold, where I live, I'm practically walking on top of people's shoulders. It's absolutely ridiculous. And we were never created to live like this, in these cooped up, built up areas with all this pollution, staring at mobile phones for too long, spending too much time on the internet or on Netflix, or playing too many video games, or watching hours and hours and hours of TV on our backsides. We were never created to live like this, okay? So let's all try and live a more natural life and become at one with nature, because God created everything. Thankfully, I have 2 nature reserves near me, which I like taking walks in. In fact, I used to go jogging in those 2 nature reserves that are close to me. Plus, I have a couple of parks that I can drive to as well. So it's not like I'm completely deprived of nature. But you'll find that when you go out into the countryside, this is one of the reasons why I like to visit different villages. There are 4 or 5 different villages that I like to visit, okay? And I absolutely love nature reserves and parks. So, yeah, sometimes we aren't handling life's problems as well as we could be because we're simply not getting enough fresh air, we're not getting enough exercise, we're spending too much time sat on our backsides, and it's also a way of getting away from all the noise, getting away from all of the corrupt and toxic politics that I was mentioning earlier on. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm sick of watching the news. In fact, I hardly ever watch the news on TV. I used to years ago, but obviously I see news articles on Yahoo and all the rest of it, and I've just had enough. I just want my life to be about me and God and nature. And of course, I like to read, I like to exercise. So really, I'm just trying to encourage myself and everyone watching this video to have as little as possible to do with this world, because this world and everything in it, the entertainment industry, the music industry, the film industry, the video game industry, everything, all the politics, and so on and so forth. Everything that we see happening on the news, it's all passing away. It's not going to be around forever. This world changes from one century to the next. The politics changes from one century to the next, okay? It's just not worth getting caught up in the rat race, and it just does people so much good to get away from all the noise, all the voices we keep hearing. This world is full of opinions. It's full of opinionated people. It's full of people that want nothing to do with God. They want nothing to do with the Bible. They think they've got it all sussed. They think, okay, it's the theory of evolution that explains literally everything. Okay, to a lot of people, should I say, the word religion is just a dirty word to so many people. They don't want to know. So all the more reason to get away from all this, because life can be stressful, especially for Christians, because us Christians are the most persecuted group of people on earth right now. Okay, no one is more persecuted than Christians, so all the more reason for us to get out of the rat race, and of course to attend a good church, and that if we can. But yeah, far too many of us are cooped up indoors. We're not walking enough. We are not at one with nature, and God wants us to be at one with nature. He doesn't want us to spend too much time sitting on our backsides watching TV or staring at our phones. There's nothing wrong with phones in and of themselves. All this stuff, the internet, video games, the music industry, the film industry, it's what we make of it. It's up to us how much time we spend doing these things. But far too often our lives are cluttered and we don't have enough time for God, and we're spending far too much time in built up towns that are full of pollution. And God doesn't want us to live like this. It's not natural. In fact, God never even wanted us to live in houses that are joined onto each other. Because on this earth, believe it or not, if you don't believe me, you can do your own research. On this earth, there is more than enough space for every single human being to have their own property, their own 3 or 4 acres of land around it. And that's how we were supposed to live. We were supposed to have our own space. Why is it, do you think, so many neighbours are falling out of each other? All up and down the UK, there are neighbours at loggerheads with each other. Okay, worldwide, neighbours have been falling out with each other for centuries, for thousands of years, and it's all because, we are cooped up, we are living too close to one another. We need our own breathing space. Have you ever heard the saying that familiarity breeds contempt? And it's true, and all the more reason that we need to get to our nature reserves, and we need to get to our parks, and we need to go to the countryside to distress ourselves, and we need to become at one with nature. And I don't know about you, but when I walk in nature, I feel like my batteries are being recharged. Whilst if I'm walking through my local shopping precinct, my local town centre, I don't feel that. I just feel stressed. I feel like my energy is being zapped away from me. Whilst if I'm walking through a park or a forest or a nature reserve, I feel so much better for it. So yeah, I just thought I'd get this off my chest because it's so sad. So many young people, teenagers, young people in their 20s, they just think this is it, this is normal, this is what life's about, these urban built-up towns and cities that we live in. No, this is not what life's about. Okay, we were supposed to live at one with nature. We were never supposed to live like this. Living next door to people, only living like a few feet away from someone. Oh, come on, you're joking, right? We were never supposed to live like this. That doesn't mean to say that we shouldn't try to get on with each other. Of course we should. It's possible for people to actually get on with each other, even in the most cooped up of situations and circumstances. I'm not saying that we need to be resentful and think, oh, I should have 3 or 4 acres of land. No. I'm just saying that the way most people are living is not natural, and most people cannot afford to live in detached properties with their own land and all that business, okay? Those people are living in a different world to the vast majority of people who are living in first and two, who are living in 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom flats and 1 or 2-bedroom houses. So many people are living in hostels. It just goes on and on and on. Anyway, I hope and pray that you're all well. Feel free to shoot the breeze about anything that you like down below. And really, I'm just trying to open as many people's eyes as possible to what's really happening. The entertainment industry is feeding us toxicity, this toxic masculinity being broadcast as if it's righteous masculinity, whilst it isn't. There's a right way to be a man. in accordance to what's written in the Bible, and then there's the world's way of being a man, you know. Yeah. So there's toxic masculinity, there's music that God absolutely hates, there's the entertainment industry, which unfortunately a lot of it is satanic, whether we like it or not, it's just the case. You know, we need to get out of this. We need to stop looking at our phones so much. We need to stop listening to the kind of music that God does not want us to listen to. We need to try to stop playing the video games that God disapproves of and does not want us to have anything to do with. And yeah, we still have nature, but in Nottingham, where I'm living, they are taking more and more of the green belt away. And we need that green belt, because could you imagine what things would be like if we did not have any countryside, if we didn't have any villages to go to, if we didn't have any parks or nature reserves to walk in? Just think about that. Oftentimes we don't realise and we don't appreciate what we have. We need to make the most of it whilst we have it, you know. And where I live in Nottingham Arnold, I feel that it's overpopulated. There's far too many houses being built in a relatively small area, and the roads are becoming more and more congested. So look, I don't know where all this is heading, but we need to appreciate it more. God's creation, God's trees, God's earth, God's flowers, God's plants, God's evergreens and God's animals. We need to appreciate the simple things in life. And believe me, it makes all the difference having that fresh air in your lungs. Walking in Burnt Stump or Sherwood Forest, for example. You know, they're two local parks to me. Well, Sherwood Forest is a few miles away, but Burnt Stump is just around the corner. Anyway, I hope and pray that you're all well. I hope I haven't blabbed on too much, but I just wanted to get this off my chest because it's so sad seeing these young people just staring at their phones all the time, spending too much time on the internet, watching trash, listening to trash, getting carried away with corrupt politics and all the rest of it. And this world is just full of loudmouths, it's full of opinionated people. We need to move away from all the noise, we need to move away from what's happening in this world, all the hustle and bustle. We need to get out of this rat race, okay? So, bye-bye and take care.